Puerto Rico! Hi, nice to meet you. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for coming. Are you having a great weekend? I'm having the best time. Thank you.
So they're all anxious to talk to you. So
Okay.
I promise I was only going to ask a couple of questions. I'm only going to ask a couple of questions and then open it up to the floor.
Of course.
So has this time been a different sort of visit to Puerto Rico? How have we been treating you? Because I've seen you on social media. So how happy are you to be here?
I'm so happy. I'm sorry I'm late. I was eating arroz con gandule and lechon and pernil. That's right. Soy puertorriqueña from the waist down, Papa. Okay?
And there you go.
I'm having the best time.
I heard there was a mofongo emergency on Friday.
There was a mofongo emergency. I had to eat everything I grew up with. So
I know you've been doing upfronts, obviously, but what has made the fans from Puerto Rico a special sort of homecoming for you being here for this?
De pasión, the amor, the love, the smiles, the energy. I love you too. I really do. You're all so special. And I realize why. It's because of familia. There's like... That's right. And Latinos are very family oriented. And I feel that love, that family love, that unity. What is it?
So let me ask you this.
So it's a lot of that. It's all of that.
Yeah, and we're going to get to feel it too, because one more question, guys, and then get ready, okay? You've been on, before Once Upon a Time, you've been on shows, you've been on 24, you've been on shows that have hit pop culture, so, Lost and all that sort of stuff. But I wanted to ask you, when you were working on Once Upon a Time before it came out, did you have an inkling of how special and what it was going to become? So I want to, before it actually aired, so if you can take me back to that moment.
Of course. So when I read the script, I thought this was very unique, very special. That means it's not going to last. Because usually when you have these really high concept shows or shows that are very unique and different, sometimes they don't last on television. They get canceled, like Swingtown, for example. Swingtown was a very unique show. It was ahead of its time. And I wish it would have been more successful and had 2 or 3, 4, 5 seasons. But if it did, I wouldn't be here doing Once Upon a Time. So everything happens for a reason. But when I read Once Upon a Time, I had never read anything like it. And when I saw the pilot episode, that's when I realized we had something really special. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen. And what's so special about it is that these are stories that we all grew up with. They are characters that we have idolized, we've looked up to, we've admired, we dress up as them, we read these stories to our children, they've been read to us. So there's so many things about Once Upon a Time that make it relatable for an audience. And then, thank you. And then, the great thing about it is they're not just caricatures, they are human people, real people. And that's what made them so relatable. And that's what was really unique about our show.
Obviously, turning the tables on an archetype is sort of what Disney is doing now on screen. But when you were presented with the Queen, with Regina, was that daunting? You were sort of taking that archetype and trying to push it in a different way. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone has seen Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and the evil queen had a very specific agenda. She was vain. She wanted to kill Snow White because Snow White was prettier than her. On our show, it's much more complicated. Yes, she's been betrayed. And so when I focused on that pain and that betrayal, that humanized her. And that really helped in developing this character, really helped me understand where this pain is coming from. And that's where I like to work from, the deeper levels. Because vanity is very superficial. It's very surfaced. But if you go deep into the pain of the character, that's relatable, and that's the humanness that we can all understand in her.
And obviously we're our fifth season. So when did you get an inkling that you were not going to be, as this iconic character, you were not going to be put in a box, and that she was going to be able to ebb and flow and become something else? And you know, so because that's been really interesting to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that just happened gradually. It was an evolution. It's still an evolution. I don't think a lot of us knew exactly what direction the characters were going right off the bat. But I knew from the pilot episode, just because I made some choices for the character, that she did lose a love. And when I spoke to Adam and Eddie about it, they said, "How did you know that?" And I said, "What do you mean?" That was just my choice as an actor, just to give to the character. And they said, "That's where we're going. She did lose a love." And I kind of instinctively knew this. And I guess I was meant to play her.
You knew her better than you thought you did.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, everything happens for a reason. So I was meant to play her.
So given that happened in season one, have they included you, the showrunners? Do you have conversations with the writers, or because you own the character now? It's different in every show. So,
well, it's shared.
Okay. So,
I don't. It's shared with the writers. It's
so
a
how
collaboration.
much conversation or talks is there where she's going to go, and do you get a little bit of input or not? Or
sometimes, I think, especially right now, because of where she's going. And there's two Reginas.
None of them are interested at all.
I know
where she's going. No.
Who's excited to have two Reginas? It's like the best of both worlds, right? The hero lives and the evil queen lives.
Spoiler, maybe, you have to have seen it. Anyway, so I'm going to ask one more question and then start getting in line, okay, guys? Because then I open it up to you. So I've been instructed on Twitter, which I know you're active on social media,
yes,
to ask you about favorite scenes with Henry, if you could pick one or something in your storylines that sort of sticks out.
Yes. My favorite scene with Henry is in the second season. I think it's either the first or maybe the second or third episode, maybe the first, in the first 3 episodes, where they're talking on the staircase in her house, and David comes by, and she tells Henry to go and stay with him, to go live with. That scene, that's when I realized that this woman was not so selfish, that she was really conflicted and was still growing and learning, but she knew that she had to send her son away in order for him to be safe so she can work on herself. And that, to me, was a very courageous decision for her to make.
Do you think that the fact that she's not one-dimensional and there's that is what makes her, has this sort of, response from the audience? Do you think that if she would have been just a one-dimensional sort of evil queen and stay there, that, maybe this wouldn't happen? I
think I would be bored, and I think a lot of people would be bored, yeah.
We would suffer if you were bored, and we wouldn't get the great performance that you give.
You can't just play evil. It doesn't work. It's fun maybe for a movie. It's good for a movie. You can see it in 2 hours. But on television, there's no end to telling these stories unless the show gets canceled. So I had to really, stretch it out and make her multidimensional, really layered and very complex, not only for myself but for the audience. It makes her much more interesting to watch.
So I promise. So first question from the audience, please.
I love you too.
We're right here.
Before I make my question, I wanted you to know that you didn't inspire me just emotionally. You inspired me to walk.
Really? That's incredible. The woman who just said this is in a wheelchair, and she just said, "You've inspired me to walk." That is a blessing. Thank you so much.
And now the question is, you taught us that anyone can get a happy ending, but seriously, the season finale, they killed us Robin Hood. Why?
I asked the same question. Why?
I bet you've been getting that a lot since that episode aired, right?
Yes.
Were you shocked when you read the script at all?
I was. We were told a little bit in advance because they didn't want everyone to be shocked when we read the script. Out of respect for Sean, out of respect for our characters and other actors, we were warned. I was shocked. But I also have a lot of faith and respect in my writers, the creators of the show, and I always know that they write these stories for a reason, and it's to push other characters forward. And that's what we're going to see with Regina.
Sounds like a promise. Next question.
Hi. So I wanted to know, which side of Regina do you enjoy playing the most? Regina as a hero or as the evil queen?
I think both, and that's what we're going to see in season 6.
Do you think it'll be difficult to sort of, given the pace that television is shot, you're not going to be, your head's not going to be spinning, or where am I now? Who am I,
No, I think my head's going to be spinning. I think it's going to be challenging. But yeah, I always liked, and this is something no one really knows, but when we do flashbacks, especially in the first couple seasons, I would split the script in half, and I would combine all the Storybrooke stories together, that whole arc, and then I would combine the fairy tale arc. So I kept them separate and found ways to kind of combine them, but keeping them separate was how I like to go about it. Next season, I have no idea what to expect.
It's going to have a lot of work. Next question.
Hello, welcome to Puerto Rico.
Thank you.
I wrote down my question in case I got nervous and forgot. You mentioned that after you watched the pilot, you realized the show was going to be big. But did you think that the evil queen and the villains were going to be more popular than the heroes?
It's a very good question. I had no idea. Although I will say, I've always been a fan of Robert Carlyle's. He's a phenomenal talent. So I knew that he was going to be very popular. I had no idea Regina was going to be this popular.
Next question.
Hi, Lana.
Hi.
I just wanted to know, how do you feel about Regina not being given the opportunity to say goodbye to Roland?
You know, I felt really sad about that. I'm hoping that maybe she'll travel to wherever he is at some point, out of respect for Robin and their relationship. I hope that they can have that moment of closure.
Next question, please. It's a long line.
So my question is, we kind of know how Regina felt about Robin's death, but how would the evil queen feel about Robin's death?
I think she's going to be really pissed off. I mean, the evil queen hasn't had a lot of love in her life, and if you go back and watch a lot of the episodes, if you go back, which I do because I like to see the evolution, she always talks about family. If you remember from the Hansel and Gretel episode, she was trying to convince them to stay because she really wanted that. So I think she's probably going to go after the Charmings. She's going to blame Emma. She's going to blame maybe Zelina. So, yeah, I have a feeling she's going to just wreck everyone's life. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun.
Next question, please.
Can't wait.
Hi, Lana. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I'd like to know, what are the challenges of playing all of these sides of Regina?
So it's very complicated. I've always wanted to be a character actress. I never wanted to be a leading lady. I thought it was like, ugh, boring. So for me, whether, it was the writers or me or a combination, I always challenge myself to find more depth and colors within the character. And that's part of my joy and fun. I love doing that for the character. And so playing the old hag, I convinced them. They were going to hire a real old lady. And I said, no, absolutely, but please let me play her because it's the same character. They said, but Lana, you're not, 85 years old. I said, but let's try to make me look 85 years old. And so they had a meeting about it, and the next day they called me and they said, you better knock it out of the park. And I said, okay, I will. And I had 3 days to create a character, and I gave her this Romanian gypsy accent and this body, and I love that stuff. So it's challenging, but in a good way, not in a bad way. I don't find it threatening, I find it exciting.
Próxima pregunta.
Hi.
Hi.
I love your character. Okay, what Lana and Regina have in common?
Could you step a little closer to the mic?
What Regina and Lana have in common?
What do we have in common?
Yeah.
I'd probably say our hearts. Although I think mine's a little more red than hers. I think, before she became the evil queen, she loved fiercely. I love fiercely. I do. I have a big heart, and I'm a family person.
It's the Boricua in you, so
it's
there
the
you go.
Boricua in me.
There you go.
It is. So I think we have that in common.
Is there any? It's interesting to hear you that you watch all episodes. Actors don't usually like to watch themselves. Is there any other story in your show that you're invested as much as they are that is not necessarily Regina?
Oh, that's not Regina? Yeah.
Which
oh my
one?
gosh. I do love Snow and Charming's love. I think that's really beautiful. And it's real. And I think that's very unique. But I think it's very unique. To find love the way they found love is very unique. Cool. And I admire that. I also love I love Rumpel and Belle. I think anyone that can love that man, it's like, she deserves all the awards. So I like their relationship as well.
Next question.
Lana, first I want to thank you for making my dog Twitter famous. I had my service dog yesterday, and we took a picture with him.
So cute.
So thank you for making her Twitter famous. And my question was actually, at what point did the evil queen have her heart put back into her? Because I found it really interesting, because in her fight with Zelina, Regina said that she knew that she wouldn't have, not to have her heart in. And at what point did the evil queen have her heart put back into her? And how did that opportunity?
You know what? We never wrote that, and so we never saw it. But I'm assuming it probably happened somewhere behind with Robin. Yeah, I would assume that they were together when that happened, and maybe somewhere behind closed doors, over candlelight and wine.
Maybe we'll see it in a
Make
flashback.
it romantic. You may as well.
Próxima pregunta.
Hi. Hi, Lana. First, I want to thank you for playing such an amazing character with so much depth. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And my question is, now that, heartbreakingly we lost Robin, and now that you're split into two, what do you believe or what do you picture is going to be the happy ending for, the light Regina versus the evil queen? What do you imagine will be their happy ending separately?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. I think Regina, the hero, still has a bit of her happy ending. And it's not, because I think a happy ending doesn't necessarily have to lie within a partner. I think that it really comes from within, and she said that. She said, my happy ending is finally feeling at peace in the world. And I think she is there to some degree. I think she's also really pissed off. She feels like everything bad happens to her and she doesn't understand why. But she has her family, and she has her son, and she has these friends and the Charmings, and these people have become her family. She has Zelina. So I feel like the hero, Regina, still encompasses a happy ending. I think the evil queen has a long journey ahead of her. And I'm really excited to see where she ends up. I don't know yet, but I hope that she does get some kind of redemption or some kind of happy ending.
I know it's going to be more work for you, but do you hope that the storyline goes for more than one season?
You mean one past this one?
Yeah.
I mean, we hope so. We have no idea, but
Okay.
that'd be great.
Cool. Next question.
Hi, my name is Rocio, and I love you so much.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to say that what's your biggest fear? Just being you, not
I'm like
not
finding
Regina.
hair in my food, okay? I don't like that. I would say I think loneliness is something to be not so much afraid of, but it's kind of a scary thing. And I don't mean like being alone. I think being alone and doing stuff alone is really great. But being lonely in life and not having people that you love or being loved, I think that can be a really scary existence. And I love you too. I'm really lucky.
You're never going to feel lonely
No,
here.
I'm not going to feel lonely, but thank you. But I think that's being lonely, dying by yourself. It's scary. No one should
So
ever.
let's move right along. I'm not dwelling on that
Something
one.
happy. Yeah, let's. Thank you.
Thank you. Próxima pregunta.
Hi. My question is if there's another character in the show or another TV or movie that you wish you could someday play.
And if I could play a different character, who would it be?
Yeah, or in the show or another movie or TV show.
Let me see. Yeah, well, you know, I said recently I would love to play Catwoman.
Yes. Why? Why Catwoman?
I think I would make a really sexy Catwoman.
Yes. Who has been your favorite Catwoman so far, if you had to pick one?
Michelle Pfeiffer, hands down. She's so beautiful.
A woman after my own heart. All
Yes.
right, next question, please.
Hi, Lana.
Hi.
In what moment in your life do you decide to be an actress? Do you have any struggles, and who made you keep going, or what?
So I kind of grew up in a very artistic household with my mom as a painter, my aunt's an actress. My grandfather used to make these old 8mm films of the family. So I kind of grew up in it. And I used to do like commercials and stuff as a kid, not really, but like at home, eating the cereal and, you know, doing cute things for my mom. And so I think I always wanted to be an actress since I was really young. I started to pursue it later in my life, more as a teenager, like 16 is when I started to really study. And learning the craft was something that was really important to me. And advised by my aunt, who's a successful actress in the industry. She said, you have to learn your craft. And I've had a lot of actors ask me to give some advice, so I'm giving some advice. It's really important to learn your craft, to not just go out there in the industry to be famous. You have to do it because you love it and you can't live without it. And there's nothing else you want to do. And when you look at life that way, you want to give it 1,000%. And that's how I see the work. I want to give Regina 1,000% of me. I want to give the next character 1,000% of me. And so doing the work, learning your craft, I highly recommend it. Study, do theater, and give yourself time. People say, oh, I was in LA for a year, I'm done. You got to give yourself 25 years because it's not just a job, it's a career. So look at it as it's longevity, it's career, not just being in one television show, doing one movie. Build it and nurture it. And that's my advice to you. That's like, I mean, I can do this on like, I can talk about acting for
I know,
hours.
you could give a master class.
I know. I've actually have done a couple of things like that. So it's,
cool.
And I love it.
Próxima pregunta.
Next week, acting classes with Lana Parrilla. Yes.
I think your character is the best one in the whole show, so shout out to that. And my question is, how much time does it take to put you in those fabulous costumes the Evil Queen uses? And how is the scenes where you rip out the heart filmed with green screen, the little dots? Or...
Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate on you how we do that. But I will say, to answer your questions about the costumes, it takes, Eduardo's like amazing. I mean, to put the costumes on, it depends. It's anywhere from like 30 minutes to put them on. Because there's a lot of tightening and the corsets are like, I can't eat. I can only drink liquids that day. I once made the mistake and ate a cheeseburger as the Evil Queen, and I was like burping burger all day.
There's a picture of that.
It was terrible. But, oh yeah, there is a picture of it. That was that day. But to do the hair and makeup and the costumes and everything, it's about 3 hours in total. So now, okay.
Oh boy. Con gusto conocerlo.
So I hope I don't get in trouble because I don't want to ruin the magic for you, but I'll keep it simple. You can stand up for me. So what you see, and you're going to face me. So what you see on the show is this, right? But what sometimes we do is this, and then someone runs in and gives me a heart. We freeze, they give me the heart, and I pull it out. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes we just do this, we freeze. Someone comes in, they put the heart in my hand, and I hold it here, and I pull it out. So, I mean, if I could really rip into someone's chest, I would.
But we're not going to do that now.
But there would be a lot of dead people. So, to preserve lives, we fake it.
We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Próxima pregunta.
Hi, Lana.
Hi, sweetheart.
I'm swallowing down a lot of anxiety right now because I'm so nervous, but
You're doing good.
I'll try to keep it short.
Okay.
Once upon a time, once my sister called me over to be all like, hey, do you want to see this show with me, you know? And I didn't know what would have ensued. And the tears, the crying, the screaming with happiness. Regina's our favorite character. And I think I speak for everyone when I say that Regina finally deserves her happy ending, right? So my question is, well, we used to think of Regina as a villain. Did you ever think that it would grow to be like this? I mean, she's kind of like this character of redemption that people love and they idolize her more than the main character.
Thank you. I think that what makes Regina so compelling is how complex she is. I think that her journey, and that's what's so interesting to watch, is her journey and how she evolves. The challenges that she has, it's very relatable. People watch her and they find a lot of inspiration. They get inspired. She's taught so many. She's taught me. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know she was going to be this relatable. But I think, and I've said this before, her message is really inspiring because it shows us all that good can come from broken. And I've been saying that a lot, and it's true. And I hear so many people who have watched Regina go, oh my God, you know, we all possess darkness. We all have two sides. We all have these crazy thoughts. And I think when you watch Regina, it makes you feel like you're a little normal. It's okay to have these crazy thoughts. She has them, but she's still trying to be a better person. And I think that's her beauty. That's the biggest gift that she's given me and to everyone.
Given the Given the richness of the character, have your thoughts about, or maybe preconceived notions about leading lady changed? You know, that you said, I think leading lady, but you're leading the shows in a sense. I know it's an ensemble and I can get in trouble, but has that changed? Finding such a rich lead character?
Yes, I love that I actually get to do both with Regina. She's a leading lady, but she's also a character. So it's the best of both worlds.
Nice gig. Next question.
Hi, I'm Graciela, and my question is, when you were a kid, did you ever imagine that this would be your life?
When I was a kid?
Yeah.
Yes. I think visualization is everything. My father used to say this to me. My father was a professional baseball player. He played here in Puerto Rico, and he played in the States for the Phillies and the Indians, and he always said to me when I was playing softball, because he didn't have boys, so I was a tomboy, and he said, okay, mommy, I want you to see the ball going past, like over the second baseman's head before you hit it. And I was like, okay. And visualization is a very powerful thing. If you see it happening and you just keep seeing it and don't lose that, you can manifest it. It can happen. And I always saw myself there, wherever I wanted to be. I was going to be working in the industry. I was going to be doing what I loved. And there was no one that can persuade me to do differently. And, you know, when I was younger, a lot of people don't know this, and I don't mind sharing it, but I grew up in Brooklyn, and in the 80s, 90s, when it was, like, not a good place to grow up. And I always wanted to go to LaGuardia High, which was in Manhattan. And my father said, absolutely not. You're too young to get on a train at 6, 7 in the morning. You're 13. And I cried, Papi, please, please, please. And he said, no. And it killed me. And I thought, that's it, my dream's over. And then I realized, no, I just have to go about it differently. So if I didn't get to go to that school, I was going to go to a different school. And so visualization, see yourself there. Really see it. Take that time and think about it and see yourself there, and you will get there.
Próxima pregunta.
Hello, my name is Michelle, and I wanted to ask you, I'm a college student right now, and I wanted to ask your advice for a future actress, writer, producer, director. What advice do you have for Latinos in the industry?
Write your stories. Write about how beautiful our culture is. Write about, you know, go beyond the stereotypical, you know, characters that have been created in the past. And there's been so much evolution in the Latino community in our industry. You know, Eva Longoria is a very great example of that. I mean, you name it. There's tons. There's so many successful Latinos. But show our culture in a really cool, different way. Like, write about your crazy fun families, you know, about the food that we love to eat, or the dancing and our passion. You know, we're such an incredible culture. It's like, we are beautiful people. It's true. It's true. That's one thing being here, it was like, I've become a prouder Puerto Rican by being here.
Yeah.
By spending time with all of you, and it makes me go, that's right, yo soy puertorriqueña, and I'm so proud to be Puerto Rican. So, you know, bring it, elevate the culture, and write more, and show how beautiful we are as a whole in your writing.
Was that ever an obstacle, your Hispanic background,
Yes.
when you started acting?
Yes, because I don't, you know,
Wanted to put you in a box, a certain stereotype?
At first, they were like, oh, she's Latina, so I would audition for all these Latino roles. But then it was like, oh, she's not dark enough. Oh, you know what? Her hair's not this enough. Her lips aren't this enough. Whatever.
Whatever the stereotype was.
Yeah, whatever the stereotype was. And I went, oh, my God. And I would sit in these audition rooms, and I would look at all these other Latinas, and I would go, they do look more Latina than me. And, you know, I'm a little more light, fair-skinned. And so I hated that. And so then I cut all my hair. I said, okay, if I'm not getting it, so I cut all my hair. And then 3 days later, I booked a lead role on an NBC show called Windfall.
Wow.
And the show didn't make it very far. But what I realized was that there was so much stereotypes out there that they couldn't get past the exterior. So I had to show them something different. And what it really highlights is I'm a person. It doesn't matter what I am. I'm a person, and I work hard at what I do, and that's what gets me jobs. So go beyond the stereotypes. You know, show them how great you are as a talent, as an artist, and go beyond whatever their closed minds think.
Thank you. Próxima pregunta.
Well, good afternoon, Lana. Welcome again to your home. Long live Regina, my friends.
Thank you.
And I wanted to take it a little bit on a lighter note. I wanted to know if you have any funny stories from set.
There's so many. I mean, it's funny because people ask me this and then I go blank. But, we as a cast, we're really lucky. We all get along. We all look after one another. When we're waiting in between, like before we go filming, like we're off in our room or whatever, we're always doing little silly things. Like we make each other laugh. Sometimes we read to one another. We help each other with auditions if there's anything coming up. We all eat together. We order sushi all the time, and we love our Starbucks. So, we've become kind of like a little family. And I would say the most fun I've had was, I've had the most fun with probably Robert Carlyle, Rebecca Mader, who is hilarious, Sean McGuire, who makes everyone laugh nonstop. They are the real funnies on the show, like the real humorous people.
Are they time for pranks or no pranks allowed?
There's no pranks.
No?
No, I don't know. We are not a pranking group.
Okay.
I think the boys prank more than the girls.
Okay. Well, you have a mission for next season, so
yes,
you'll
exactly.
tell us about it later.
I know.
Próxima pregunta.
If I'm taking any ideas for pranks, let me know.
Hello, Lana. It's a pleasure to meet you again. I want to ask you, how difficult was it for you to play the role of having to do the curse of killing your father, as he's the one that you loved the most? And you said that you put your feelings into the character to feel her pain. So how did that feel for you?
Devastating. It was devastating. It was the second episode, and I was like, this is the second episode. I'm still learning who this character is. I was shocked by this decision that she was so desperate. She wanted this revenge so bad. She was so vengeful that she would kill her own father. I had a really hard time with that. But I kept thinking, okay, you can't judge your character when you're playing, you can't. As the actor, you can't judge them. You have to try to understand. But that's why you see a tear running down her face, because it was literally heartbreaking. And the best thing that could have come out of the whole show for me, and I think for the character, was in the 100th episode where she sees her father at the graveyard in the underworld, and she gets to say, "I'm sorry." That was probably my favorite scene that I've ever been able to play in my career, because to have that closure for the character, to be able to say, "I'm sorry" for things, sometimes you don't get that in life. I mean, we lose people, and then sometimes tragically, sometimes whatever, and you never get that opportunity. That was a really big gift. So not just me, but for Regina, because it ate at my soul all 5 seasons that we weren't able to address that. And then when we did, it was like, I thanked Adam and Eddie and said, thank you so much. This was the best scene I've ever been able to act in.
Thank you. Próxima pregunta.
Hi, Lana.
Hi.
I was wondering if you think that Regina will stop doubting herself and think, well, I am good. Because we see throughout the show that she has these good moments and then something bad happens and then she doubts. She's like, what should I do?
Yeah, I think that's part of what makes watching Regina so interesting, is that we're going to see how she deals with that in season 6. How she, why do these things keep happening to me? Is it karmic? Is it because I've done all these terrible things that there's no redemption for me? Or, no, I'm not going to have those thoughts. No, I am good. And it's just there's this darkness inside and I haven't learned how to deal with it. I think though you're going to get these answers in season 6. It's still being developed.
Próxima pregunta, que nos queda poco tiempo.
Hi, Lana. I love you. We know by now that the Evil Queen's signature move is ripping out a heart and crushing it to dust. The first time you did this, how did you feel? And are you used to it by now, or is it still weird doing this?
I'm so sorry. Could you ask this again? I wasn't clear.
A little slower.
Thank you. Evil Queen's signature move is ripping out a heart and crushing it to dust.
You mean when Regina rips out the Queen's heart and she crushes it, it turns into dust, and then the Evil Queen?
Are you used to doing this? And the first time you did it as Regina, was it weird, or how did you feel?
Yes. Okay. So wait, as Regina or Lana, the actor? Because both.
Both.
So I'm trying to remember for the Evil Queen, the first time she crushed a heart. I believe it was when she was studying under Rumpel. And then he had another apprentice, and then not an apprentice. Yeah, he had another student, and then Regina came from behind and ripped her heart out and crushed it. Yes. I think she found a lot of satisfaction in that. I think that she proved to herself and to Rumpel that she can be a good evil villain, and this was her first proof of it. Lana. The first time I did that was with Graham in the 7th episode, The Huntsman. And I remember going, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, what am I doing? And they run in and they put this dust in my hand and they're like, just crush it and let it fall out of your hands. And it was like, okay. All right, I guess I'll do that. Is it gonna get all over my clothes? And we do this. Someone runs in, they put the dust in our hands, and then it's all in editing, right? So you don't see what we experience. But I thought it was odd, and then I thought, okay, this is all part of the magic on the show, and this is what we'll probably do a lot more, and we have.
And you did. Próxima pregunta.
Hi, I'm Marcus.
Hi, Marcus.
My question is, what's your least or favorite scene in the show? And there's something else I'm going to ask. I'm probably going to get in trouble or get beaten up. But my girlfriend couldn't be here, and I really love this girl, and I just want you to know if you can just say, Fabiola Llanos, thank you for watching my show.
Say her name again.
Fabiola Llanos.
Fabiola Llanos, thank you so much for watching this show. Your boyfriend loves you.
Do you have a favorite scene in the show?
My favorite scene in the show, I just spoke of it, was the scene with Regina's father at the graveyard.
Getting to say you're sorry.
Yes, getting to say sorry.
Nice. Próxima pregunta.
Hi, Lana. My question here is quickly, I'm sorry for my English, is how do you prepare yourself for a scene that has a lot of emotion, like last ride, like the one that she was saying goodbye to her dad? And how do you prepare for that scene? And the one when she knew Selena was her sister. Those 2 episodes were really, really good episodes.
Yes, they
were. One of the best of the season, I think.
Thank you. Thank you. So the question was, how do I prepare emotionally?
Yeah.
So a lot of years of training. I've been acting for over 24 years. I know people don't know that I've been around for a long time. But if I've been studying since I was 16, it's in my DNA. It's become such a part of it. But I will say this, and I think this can be helpful for other artists that are, wanting to be actors or any aspiring artist. I always find that you have to learn how to feel in life and know what those feelings are, to allow yourself to go through it, the trying moments, the sad moments, the happiness, the crazy moments, but like pay attention to what happens in your body and what it feels like, because it's like a you know, a singer or a dancer. If you say you book a performance, okay, and they said in 3 months from now you're going to be on stage in Broadway and you're going to be performing in front of thousands of people, and you go, okay, great, and you go on vacation for 3 months and you do nothing and you just sleep or you eat or whatever. The day of the performance, how good are you going to be? Probably not that great. So it's, what my point is that
Training,
practice, and explore it in your life, those feelings and those levels of emotion. And then when you're in front of a camera, it's going to be a lot easier to emote. Yeah.
Thank you. And now I'm going to turn into the evil moderator, but this, I believe, is going to be the last question.
No!
All right, well, and
like,
for
what do I
anybody
have after
online,
this?
for anybody in the line, Lana is very accessible through Twitter and her Facebook. So, but what is this question?
Hi, Lana.
Hi, Mama.
My name's Isabella.
Isabella.
My question is, how long does it take you to learn your line?
Very practical question.
It's a very, very good question. It depends. There was like a 3-page monologue that I had the other day that you guys saw in the finale with Emma. That took a little bit longer. It depends. I think that you have to make really strong choices. When you make your choices in a script and you know where you're coming from, it's a lot easier to memorize. That may seem a little complicated for you. I think you just keep repeating them. Just keep repeating it. Practice makes perfect. Yeah, and just stick with it. Thank you. Is that? Yep. You're good? You're satisfied? Okay, good.
Yeah, good.
There was one thing I promised someone I would say.
Okay.
I shall destroy your happiness.
Okay.
If it is the last thing I do. Someone said, could you please, a few people have asked for a request, could you please say something as the evil queen? So I did.
Thank you. So I'm saying we're getting a bonus round. 3 more.
Yes.
3 más. Okay. Y de nuevo, disculpa a los que están esperando. Like I said, she is very accessible through her Twitter and her fan page.
I know
on
my
Facebook.
answers are long, so it's my fault.
So here we go. Okay.
First of all, thank you for stealing my little girl's heart on Friday. You made her day.
You're welcome.
Her question is, what was your most happiest scene that you've done? And I already know the saddest, which was the scene with your father. But she wanted to know what was your happiest scene that you've done on Once Upon a Time.
I would say the moment when Regina kissed Henry in the forehead and it was a true love's kiss. That was really special, and I think that's when she really realized that she possesses this white magic. In that moment, it was really powerful. And what was
Your saddest, but I think
the saddest moment? Probably Robin dying. Yeah, still sad.
Próxima pregunta.
Hello. I was just wondering, what was the hardest scene to film in the whole series?
It was the second episode, killing her father.
Killing her father, yeah.
That was really hard for multiple reasons. There were many challenges, not just the scene itself, but it was the first time I ever worked on a green stage, green screen, and that in itself comes with a lot of challenges. And I didn't have a lot of time to figure it out. So I would say that's it.
Have you gotten used to that?
Yeah. Now it's
all
like, now I love it because it's this big green fishbowl and it's like a theater. It's so fun. It's like this, but all green.
So no pressure, but this is going to be the last question.
No.
So make it good.
Thank you for being here and giving us amazing answers. My question is, which character would you cosplay and would you sneak into a Comic-Con?
Yes.
I don't think you could sneak in if you dressed as Catwoman. I'm just going to say that.
No, but maybe.
I think you would
I
draw
bet if
attention
I snuck
anyway.
in as the evil queen, no one would even know.
I think you have more than 1,000 people
Because
who
I
beg
would have
to
a lot of
differ.
competition, that's for sure. Maybe Darth Vader.
Nice.
Yeah.
From one ruler to another. So, del corazón de nosotros, muchísimas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros
Well,
hoy.
and thank you so much. You guys, this has been such an incredible experience. I really wish I could answer all your questions. Know that I want to, and I love you, and we'll find other opportunities to meet again. So, gracias por todo. ¡En viva Puerto Rico! Thank you.
Lana, thank you very much for being here in Puerto Rico with us, Juanma. Muchísimas gracias, como
Muchas
siempre.
gracias. Thank you very much. You were amazing. Wasn't he amazing? Okay.
Y a ustedes, muchísimas
Thank
gracias
you.
por estar aquí.
I love you all too. Thank you very much.